do we ask the question who made this? Right? So actually the rose, real rose is much more intricate. There are many attributes in the artificial rose which are not present in the real rose. Anybody of you can tell what attributes in the artificial real rose which are not there in the artificial rose, which man cannot smell, fragrance, yes, water, moisture, anything else? You see the texture, it's so soft, cannot make the texture, and also taste, ruabza. So it has so many intricacies. What to speak of making this real rose? No one has able to make even one seed. None of the scientists can make even one seed in the laboratory. Can we? We can make, probably we can make nuts and bolts, but not seeds. So it's a technology. Yeah. So what is your clause? So artistry implies artist. That is the first A. Can you remember? Second, beautiful organization implies organizer, which we'll see. Okay, let's see this one.
Mathematician spiders. Compared to their own sizes, spiders build very large webs. Indeed, if we enlarged a spider to the size of a human being, the length of the web it weaves would be approximately 150 meters, which corresponds to a 50-story skyscraper. Is it possible for a human being to weave a lacework the size of a 50-story skyscraper in only an hour? But a tiny spider accomplishes much more than that. Moreover, the spider-woven web is the sturdiest material in the world. How do spiders weave these webs possessing miraculous features? The spider takes into consideration many factors while weaving a web, hundreds of times larger than its own size. This task demands at least some calculations essential in constructing a building. For the accomplishment of this work, first the spider must draw a project like an architect, for construction of this size, design, and sturdiness cannot be accomplished without an architectural project. Once the project is drawn, the spider must calculate the lifting capacity of each part of the web like an engineer, otherwise the web cannot remain suspended. In order to design such a web and make such delicate calculations, the spider must be more qualified than a college graduate. Indeed, there is not a university that provides education to the offspring. Following their birth, they begin to produce silk, weave web.
There is one company which wanted to imitate the spider's web material. Where the spider's web material has the highest strength to weight ratio. The weight is very small, but the strength is very high. You see? So therefore, to make this material, they did a lot of research. Lots and lots of PhD scientists in chemistry. They were doing the research of how to make a material like that. So after lots of research, and why they need this material for defense? Because to have bulletproof jacket, the strength should be very high, but at the same time it should be very lightweight, right? After lots of research, they made a material called Kevlar. You can search. So they made a material which was nowhere in comparison to the actual spider's web material, which is the sturdiest material on earth. So now my question to you. Now when the spider, it spits out its saliva, that happens to be the sturdiest material on earth, and which the scientist, the top-notch scientist, spending millions of dollars and years of research, they are not able to produce it as good as the spider's material. So the question is, did the spider do PhD in MIT? Or who kept that material, the spider's saliva? Does it happen by chance? Or is it a well thought design? So that's the question. So there is a group of scientists. They they have formed a group called Intelligent Design. So they study all these organisms. They say that it is impossible that all these organisms that they can evolve by chance. There is intelligence behind it. There is the intelligent design. There is a beautiful organization who has kept exact material that we are not even able to imitate. Correct now. So if suppose this laptop someone else has built, so scientists are just maybe trying to see after the thing, after effects of it. They are trying to remove the laptop and see how it's built. But that also they are not able to do as good as the original one. So does it require intelligent design or it just came by chance? That is the question. So beautiful organization implies organizer. Likewise, we see many wonderful things created by man. Sleek car, someone manufactured it. Friendly computer, someone assembled it. Elegant watches, someone designed it. Architecture marvel, someone erected it. Skyscraper buildings, someone built it. Wonderful sculptures, someone carved it. So he's saying, shouldn't this universe have a super intelligent creator too? So now the C is creation implies creator. You see any creation. It may be a very small creation of this table. Can you believe that this table can come by chance from wood? In our practical experience, we have no experience of anything which requires some intelligence and design come by chance, which is little bit intricate. So these are the sequoia seeds, which happen to be the largest tree on this earth, the giant sequoia tree. So the world's largest tree, 84 meters high, 29 meters in diameter at trunk. You see this man? I think it's in US only, western coast. California. Yeah. So the giant tree is packed in a tiny seed. You see the comparison of how the sequoia tree is. And as good as the Statue of Liberty. So the question here is, how many of you are from electrical background? Anyone? Oh, many. Okay, anyways. So in electrical we have embedded systems, right? So earlier the computers were this big. They are reducing the size. The chip they design in a very intricate way. So small size but lot of information in it. Yes? So this is exact technology of nature. The seed is how much small? This much. But within the seed, there is embedded technology. Once you sow the seed, the circuitry unfolds within it. And the proof is, suppose you sow orange seed, orange tree will grow, not mango tree. Correct, no? So, it's a technology. So, as I was mentioning, can any scientist, suppose now we are not getting mangoes, scientist comes and says, I want mangoes. Can he design a mango seed? Is it possible? Has it done before? No. No one is able to do it. So in such a small seed, what a technology. Can you imagine? Such a small seed, the whole tree is kept. It's a embedded system. It's a it's a technology. Correct? So likewise, we see these chips designed by Intel, but we see the human brain. It's much, much more complicated than a chip. There are trillions of neurons. None of the neuroscientists or neurologists has ever been able to understand how actually it works. They are trying to understand, but they are not up to the mark. So the human brain can store more information than. one grain worth of, it has trillions of neurons. That was said. So such a technology. So who designed this? They kept the brain of who is that? Einstein. Einstein. They were trying to understand. But the thing is, who designed that brain? Einstein didn't. Correct, no? Who designed that brain? That is important. So therefore, Prabhupada used to say that if you want to give Nobel Prize, give it to God, because He is the one who is designing the brains of even the scientists. So now let's go down to the micro world. We see the DNAs, RNAs. I think most of us studied in 8th, 9th, 10th standard, double helix structure. But the thing is, what to speak of DNA and RNA coming by chance? You cannot even draw it by chance. And when we see the chromosomes, DNA, RNA, such a technology, isn't it such an amazing technology? I was doing one project in biotechnology about data science. So much data, TBs of data in such a small DNA and RNA. When we are now trying to store data, we need big data centers and so much energy and so much cost. Correct, nowadays that's only going on. How to store the data. So we need big data centers. But when it comes to nature, such a technology in a small DNA RNA, so much information is stored that scientists are not even able to understand now till now. They are doing all DNA RNA analysis, trying to understand different species. The entire essence is built on this. When a child is born, from such a small substance, the whole information gets transferred. Correct? So such a technology we are not able to do till now. Similarly, we see chemistry, the best latest structure. I'm sure many of you have studied this. So we see here graphite and diamond, the same element. What is the similarity in that? In this, is made up of carbon, correct? But what is difference? The structure. So slight molecular structure and graphite, which is brittle, it becomes the hardest material, diamond. So such a design, correct? Similarly, we see meticulous design in the micro world. And now let's go to macro world. You see the satellite. Now this was one of the very interesting thing which I liked when I first heard this session. So the satellites, it requires 24 hours monitoring. So many critical parameters to monitor. We see NASA here. They send so many satellites. There is satellite control room in NASA which continuously they are monitoring it. Right? Someone is always there. So world's greatest scientists, they are monitoring. First of all, to send satellite, it is difficult. After sending also, they need to monitor it all the time so that it stays in orbit, it collects data and so on and so forth. So now it requires intelligence. How many of you agree to send a satellite? It requires intelligence. Yes? But when it comes to natural satellites like Earth is 6 into 10 to the power 21 metric tons. Moon. So my question, who is in control of the natural satellite? When we ask, when we see the artificial satellite, we know NASA is in control, right? So who is in control? Can any scientist on this planet say that I am controlling moon, I am controlling all the satellites, natural satellite. In fact, natural satellites are nowhere. Artificial satellites are nowhere compared to the natural satellite. Natural satellites are metric tons, such a big mass. You see the Earth, little bit here and there it would have been. There will be no life on Earth. Little bit here and there. So who is making sure that Earth stays in orbit? Can any scientist say that I am in control? So who is in control? Isn't it intelligent question to ask? How many of us thought this? Correct, no? So if traffic pollution got a signal, what non-traffic revolving planets? So he's saying. So that is the question. Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, now someone will say that, oh, there is gravitational force. Correct, no? But Krishna says, but gravitational force, from where it comes? That is also a question to ask. So science may say one thing, it starts, try to answer the question, and it stops at intermediate point. But it doesn't go to the remote cause. That is the fallacy. Okay, gravitational force, but from where it comes? Correct, no? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dharayami aham ojasa. What is that verse? Yeah. Starting I'm not able to remember, but he says that Dharayami, it is my strength. Ojasa means strength. Because of my strength, the planets are floating around. It is Krishna's strength. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that it is his strength. Similarly, you see the marvelous designs in the nature. Let's see this.
Around 1200 AD, a man named Leonard Pisano, better known as Fibonacci, discovered a sequence of numbers that created a very interesting pattern. The sequence begins with the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and continues indefinitely. Each number is obtained by adding the last two digits together. A rectangle with a length and width of any two of the numbers of this sequence forms what is known as the golden rectangle, a perfect rectangle. A golden rectangle can be broken down into squares the size of the next Fibonacci numbers down and below. If we were to take a perfect or golden rectangle, break it down into smaller squares based on Fibonacci's sequence, and divide each with an arc, the patterns begin to take shape. We begin to see Fibonacci's spiral. The spiral in and of itself is insignificant. Its importance is revealed in where we find it. Take, for example, the sunflower. The display of its florets are in perfect spirals of 55, 34, and 21, the sequence of Fibonacci. The fruitlets of the pineapple create the same spiral based on the sequence. The pine cone does the same. As currents move through the ocean and the tide rolls onto the shore, the waves that bring in the tide curve into a spiral that can be mathematically diagrammed onto a plot at the points 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55. Buds on trees, sand dollars, starfish, petals on flowers, and especially the nautilus shell are formed with this exact same blueprint. With each segment of growth, the nautilus adds to itself one more value on Fibonacci's scale. This blueprint can be seen around us on a small scale every day, but the greatest example of all is directly above our heads. At an average of 100,000 light years across, even the spiral of the galaxies above us are formed with the exact design that the tiny shell is formed. This sequence or blueprint appears to be the trademark of a designer, a proof of a creator, something left behind indicating the one who was there, a fingerprint. As we scan our universe, from the tiny flower to the awe-inspiring galaxy, we see the fingerprint of God.
You see the fingerprint of God. So you see, can such a structure happen by chance? When there is by chance, if it happens by chance, then there is no structure. But we see the universe around, right from small objects to even the galaxy. It follows the structure. It is just one such example. Therefore, it says design implies there has to be designer. Similarly, we see the energy of sun. So it is said, so science says that energy emitted by sun in 1 second is greater than all the amount consumed by human race throughout entire history. So much energy. But the question is, if there is energy, there has to be energetic. Energy implies energetic. For example, if someone who is sitting in this room, some stone comes in, so immediately you go and see that who actually threw this stone. Because someone has to give the stone energy. Energy cannot exist on its own. So therefore, energy implies there has to be energetic. And Krishna says that I am the energetic. That is what Krishna I was saying before. There is gravitational force, that is energy. But what is the source of that? That is important to understand. Who is supplying energy to the sun? Now science says that, anybody know science says what? How so much energy comes? They say fission reaction. But the question is, who, if you know, according to science, in order to start the fission reaction, there has to be some catalyst needed. It cannot start on its own. So who was the catalyst? Or who actually kept those substances there? Science will not ask this question. It understands some point, which is called intermediate cause. But science may not understand the remote cause. Because the remote cause is not in science, it is beyond science. We cannot even understand it. For example, if we see this universe compared to the entire galaxies, Earth is not even a dot. Have you seen this video of zooming out? Zoom out. For example, the nearest star is some light years away. I mean, if you travel with the speed of light, you will reach. But can we reach? Can we first of all travel at the speed of light? What to speak of farthest star, which is billions of light years away? Can you imagine billions of light years away? Even if we say 100 years you travel the speed of light, still we can't even reach the nearest star to Earth. What to speak of reaching the farthest star? So no matter how much science says that tomorrow we'll try to understand the universe and structure of the universe and who created it is impossible. That is the first thing scriptures say. Therefore, we need shastras. Because scriptures are beyond science. So there is one famous scientist. He made the statement that when scientists are trying to climb the cliff of knowledge, so much knowledge we are trying to understand. When the scientists are trying to climb the cliff of knowledge, after reaching to some top, they see that the theologists are already sitting there. That means what? I mean, the theologists, because they believe in scripture, they already know many things. Because it's one is bottom to top approach, other is top to down approach. Anyways, I think that we'll see in coming sessions. So look around the world. There are some laws which govern this world. Yes, for example, my school starts at 9 o'clock. For example, college starts at this time. So who made this law? The dean or principal. Yes? Who made this law? Government. Indian American government. Traffic police. Who made these laws?
Oh, British.
ICC. Correct. Now we see this. Anybody remembers this? Chemistry. Yes. So what do we call this? Periodic law. So who made this law? Yeah, Mendel discovered it, but who made it? We don't call it periodic chance, it's periodic law. So it's law of nature. Correct, no? When you see the law of physics, law of gravity, who made it? Who made this? Newton just discovered it. Before also apple were falling down only. Correct, no? Apple was not going up. Before Newton understood law of gravity. Yes? So Newton just discovered it. But my question is, who made it? And why g equal to 9.8? Why not 10? Round number. Correct, no? Why this? Why not this? So there are so many laws. Laws of physics, laws of optics, laws of thermodynamics, which govern this world. But who made this law? Can any scientist say that I made, equal to mc square? I am the one who designed it. No. They may be discovering it. They are just trying to understand the nature, how it works. But they are not the makers of the law. Right? To make a law, and see, making law is one thing. But to impose that law, that also needs some efforts. Like I can make a law that such thing. But to make sure that a law happens, that is also another thing. So we see the laws of nature are acting so perfectly. If little bit here and there, maybe thoda mistake हुआ जी 9.8 से 10 हो गया, there will be so many system will break. Correct, no? So it is ensured not only making, but it's ensured that it is actually happening. Correct? So many laws, precise laws govern the mathematical, precise law of mathematical accuracy govern this world. So when we see there are laws, so this is F, lawless laws implies there has to be some lawmaker. So who is that lawmaker? So therefore, one of the scientists, I think he's Kelvin only, I think earlier was someone else. So Kelvin, he made a point that he said that if you are really scientist of that cadre, that means if you really go deep in nature, so he said that science will force you to believe in God. So if you are like superficial scientist, maybe you will say that God doesn't exist. But if you are really scientist of that cadre, so science will force you to believe in God. Because at some point, if you go down, why this, at some point, you don't have answer. Why this? It is what it is. We don't know why it is. Who made these laws? Who is making sure the laws are being followed? When you see an atom, so deep, no one is able to see the structure of atom. Correct? But we see everything, the electricity, it follows the laws. Nothing, not one day it happened that our sun forgot to rise. Yes, so who is making these laws? Who is making sure that it happens? Similarly, now coming to second question, it is about law of karma, but we will maybe just touch upon this topic because we have very less time. 10 minutes. So we see so much disparity in this world. So who decides? We choose some things, education, job, husband, wife, car, house, but some things we don't choose. Our parents, face cut, intelligence. So who chooses and what basis? Is it by chance? It is already shown that in the world of matter, physics, chemistry, thermodynamics, etc., we follow definite well-defined laws. So then he's saying, how then can our birth, beauty, intelligence be random events? So that is also a law. What is that law called? It is the law of karma. So based on the law of karma, Krishna says, Karmanadeva netrena janto dehopapattaya striya pravishtodaram pumsa reta kanashraya. So it is a law of nature. Law of karma, sorry. we'll see the law of karma. So this actually will answer the second part of the refutation of the friend of Isaac Newton. But for now, just remember the law of karma. Okay. Now, see, we are not just one who is saying. Big scientist. Albert Einstein said the Lord God is subtle, but malicious he is not. Schrodinger, he is saying that actually when we see from science point of view, he says that the world appears to be very deficient. Why? Because it gives factual information, but it forgets about, it is silent about all that is really near to our heart, that really matters to us. It cannot tell us about red and blue, bitter and sweet, physical pain and delight. It, it knows nothing of beautiful and ugly, good or bad, God and eternity. Science sometimes pretends to answer questions in these domains, but the answers are very often so silly that we are not inclined to take them seriously. He's saying that they are so deficient about understanding. We may try to understand from a scientific point of view. Suppose, for example, a group of scientists can come and exactly describe a gulab jam, like a ball of such a diameter floating in viscous fluid of so much viscosity, and so forth, so much the color and all. But just by explaining it, can you know how it tastes? No. Unless you eat it, you won't be able to understand the taste of gulab jam. So that is, he's saying is that is consciousness, because that knows about, by consciousness we can answer many questions which just science cannot. Yeah, he's Lord Kelvin. If you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. Is the story of Isaac Newton. So Newton once made a statement that the scientists are, like a small children in the ocean, shore of ocean. They're trying to understand, playing with sand particles, but the whole ocean of truth, lays uncovered, undiscovered. So what we know is just a grain of information of this world. But so many things which we don't know, they are beyond us. So here is Max Born, he's saying, I saw in it the atom, the key to deepest secret of nature, and it revealed to me the greatness of the creator and creation and creator. Ramanuja, he says, an equation for me has no meaning unless it represents a thought of God. Heisenberg, he's saying a higher power is not influenced by our wishes which finally decides and judges. Faraday. Yeah. So basically, so many scientists, they also believe in God. Okay, now activity time. We are towards the end of the session, so we are playing some game. Okay, so 1 crore question. What is the origin of the universe? Okay, how many go for A? B, C. Okay. Oh, good. Only one question. One answer is allowed, not two. Okay, C. How many go for D? Chance. Okay. Want to know the right answer? Yeah, the right answer is C.
Okay, check or cash.
Huh? Yeah. So anyway, so I think next question. There are two questions only. What is the purpose of the universe? A, B, C, no purpose. D. Okay. So the correct answer is D. Okay, now let's try to discuss this. Two very important. Suppose you go in a some lab and you see a machine. So have you seen any machine which came by chance and has no purpose? Have you seen any machine which came by chance and has no purpose? Suppose you ask, maybe you are going to some lab, you ask the professor that, my dear professor, what is the purpose of this machine? He says, no purpose. And how it came? He said, it came by chance. So I would say that, professor, your coming here is by chance, I think, and you have no purpose here. Correct? So every machine has some purpose, and it doesn't come by chance. So now that's the question. Now, for example, let's go to the first. How did this universe come by? How many have said big brain? Sorry, Big Bang. Big Bang. Yes. Can anyone explain why Big Bang?
That's the science that was taught in the Big Bang Theory.
Okay. What is Big Bang theory?
When atoms collided or whatever, the smallest, the tiniest particle created from actually the energy that was going around, and from sun reaction and all that, the Big Bang happened, and that's I think that's how the life came into existence.
Okay. Anybody else? Big Bang. I know many of you believe in Big Bang. Maybe you just tell why you believe. No one believes in Big Bang. Yes or no? No. Okay. Very nice. So, Big Bang theory is this. According to Big Bang theory, everything started from a point of infinitesimally small size. It had infinite temperature, infinite density, and infinitesimal size, which is very small size. So point which has infinite mass density and temperature, but such a small size, correct? Which is physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, and beyond all conception of space and time. So this is the definition which is given in Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, question is, suppose Big Bang happened, right? Suppose you believe in theory of Big Bang. But on the other hand, it is saying that it is just physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, beyond all conception of time and space. So what it is? Does it make sense? Can you write some equations in science which define Big Bang? It is just based on faith. No one has able till now proven it. So first of all, we have to understand that it is a theory. Here it is saying, it is a theory. Today I can also make a theory of universe, origin of universe. I can also define my theory. Correct? But it's not a fact. It's a theory. That is first thing to be understood. Second, even if Big Bang say happened, my question to you, from where did that point come upon? From where did the point of infinite density, mass, temperature come up? Does science answer that question? Are you getting the refutation? So first is, it is that point itself. If you say that it existed, it doesn't make sense, because there is no physical laws or mathematical equation that define that point. Second, even if we believe that it existed, so what was, I just lost the thought. Yeah, from where did it come? From where did it come? And who created that point? So the point is, who created that point of infinite temperature, density, mass? From where it came? So science always starts with intermediate, as I said. It never goes to the origin. the remote cause. So first is who created the point. Actually, to certain extent, it's true. The scriptures also say that the universe is expanding, which the Big Bang theory says, because it comes from Lord Vishnu, which I will discuss later. But the point is who made that point. And the third refutation, has anybody seen a bang happening and from the bang something beautiful came upon? Just like if there is a bomb blast, now we are having so many bomb blasts, and we see from bomb blast when a big 100-story building came upon. Does it happen like that? So how can we even believe that from Big Bang this universe which is so structured has come upon? So basically, yes, we can't prove Big Bang. Neither we can prove Big Brain, which is God. That things has come by intelligent design. None of the things which we cannot prove. But what we can give, like think here is what we want to believe. Do we want to believe in Big Bang or Big Brain? So Big Bang is also belief. It's not science, for your information. It is not science. If you think that it is science, that means you have blind faith in science. Because scientists are not able to prove it till now. It is unverifiable. You cannot prove Big Bang. It's a theory, which I can also give, you can also give. Correct, no? So what it is? Therefore, the atheists sometimes they are called as devotees of science. That means they have blind faith in science. Because of our maybe upbringing, we have thought so many wrong things in science, which we will see in the future. But it is not true. It is a theory which anyone can give. There are so many theories. That is not only one theory. Big Bang is not just one theory. There are many theories of origin of universe, and none of them has been proven. It is just it may be. It may be not. So that is the point. So it is Big Bang or Big Brain. So neither of things will ever be able to prove. But faith has two divisions. So one is blind faith and second is reasonable faith. Reasonable faith is not, generally faith, when we say the word faith, it is very derogatory in today's terms. Because the moment someone says that I have faith, they say that, oh, you are not scientific. That means. Correct, na? But the thing is, in order to function, we need to have faith. Not blind faith, but reasonable faith. For example, all of us are sitting in this building. We have reasonable faith that this ceiling will not collapse. Correct? So that's a faith. Yes, suppose you go to what is called barber shop. He's cutting your hairs. He has knife in hand. You have faith, reasonable faith that he will not kill you. He can kill you also. Correct, no? So that is called reasonable faith. One is blind faith and one is reasonable faith. When you are sitting in the plane, you have reasonable faith that you will land. Otherwise, you will die in the plane only. Correct? So we are talking about faith which is reasonable. So both things are there. One is Big Bang, other is Big Brain. None of the things will be able to prove. But you have to see which is blind faith and which is reasonable faith. So what we are saying here is to believe that everything happened by design is a reasonable faith. And to believe that it happened by a Big Bang, that is not reasonable faith. Yes. And the second question, what is the purpose of this universe? Definitely it is to understand God and its creator. That is the purpose, which we'll see in future sessions. because none of the things happen without purpose. Everything has a purpose. Yeah. So these are last two slides, I think. So here they are comparing the universal government with national government. Now maybe you can, this is like the filling the blanks. So national government, there is home ministry, which is law and order, punishment. What is the home ministry in universal government? Yeah, God, but how it is ensured? This is, I'm just giving. So there are many things. You see, one that illicit sex, one immediately get AIDS. Smoking, one gets cancer. Drinking, liver problems. So law and order is maintained in the universe. It is said that one can, a thief, maybe after killing, he can even give chakma to the police. Correct? Na? He can maybe go without caught. I mean, like without getting caught. But one can never escape the law of nature, law of karma. One can never. It may happen that he may kill someone and he may just flee off, but he cannot escape from the laws of karma, because there are always 24 elements watching a person. We'll see that later. So health ministry, we have Ayurvedic herbs. Ministry of energy, this is easy. Sun, yes, correct, no? Sun and moon. Because I think all the energy actually comes through sun. Correct, no? So that is actually the finance ministry, gold, silver, Navaratna. Defense ministry, we have so many. Immunity on body is natural. Ozonosphere, education ministry, we have Vedas, Bible, Quran. So he is saying that behind every government there is prime minister. Similarly, behind the universal government there is God. Prime minister maintains and controls the country. God maintains and controls the whole universe. Government law abiders live happily and law breakers are punished. God's law abiders live prosperously and law breakers suffer. This is the last slide. Maybe you can repeat after me this very important verse from Bhagavad Gita. Mattaha parataram nanyat किंचित अस्ति धनंजय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव. So here Krishna is saying that, my dear Arjuna, everything rests upon me, just like pearls are strung on a necklace. You see a necklace, you see just the pearls, but you never see the string. So similarly, Krishna is saying that you see this whole universe, you see everything is perfect, but actually everything is resting upon me, but I am not seen anywhere, just like the pearls are seen but the thread is not seen. So the very fabric of this entire creation is the Lord himself, who is making sure that all laws are followed, everything is in place, but he is not to be seen. And why, that we will see in next session. So next session we'll see why we can't see God. And there are many people saying that if God exists, why can't we see him? Correct? That is a very, I would say, common argument. But we'll see why Krishna cannot be seen or why God cannot be seen. Krishna, Christ, Jesus, Jehovah, anyone. God is God. So we'll see that God cannot be seen. So I think that's all for today. Anybody has any questions or reflections? Yes.
So somebody has the theory of Big Bang and just like similar. Who has, let's first introduce the theory, belief, or faith that this is some entity called God in that case, or like who give a naming that this is the law of karma.
It's all written in scriptures. The law of karma, of the proof of existence of God. There are so many things. Next session is all about that. We'll see about scriptures. So it is all. So knowledge, it can come from multiple sources. So science is building from bottom to top. We are also trying to get knowledge, but it is called bottom to top approach. But Veda, the very word Veda means knowledge. You know this? So it has knowledge of everything that is there in this universe. But that knowledge is perfect. It is coming from top to bottom. You don't have to research to get. It is already written in the scriptures for us. Just like when you purchase a machine, so I purchase laptop or TV or fridge, it comes with a manual of how to use the machine. So that is, if you read the manual, you will be easily understanding things. So that is a intelligent way to understand the machine, correct? Or other way to understand machine is to try to see how press different buttons and see if it's complex machine. So what science is doing is this universe is like machine is trying to understand doing different things. But on the other hand, there is a manual which is governing this universal cosmic machine, and that is Vedas. Veda means knowledge. So if you just read the manual, you will easily understand. Or other thing is you try to understand through top to bottom approach. Both are the ways of gaining knowledge. So Vedas have given all the knowledge. They have all the knowledge. But that is perfect knowledge. Why? Because it is made by the creator. Just like the creator of this laptop, Apple, they will give a manual. So if you read the manual, it is perfect. On the other hand, if I try to understand on my own, maybe I may be trying to understand, maybe I'll understand 50%, 60%, but not everything. Or even if I try to understand and I understand, it may take some time. Correct, no? So all the knowledge is given in Vedas.
Do you think there is only one creator?
Yes.
We have so many gods.
Yeah, that is another session we'll discuss. If God is one, why there are so many religions? So if you see here also, if you see in US, anyone if you ask, if you say that I am from this religion, I am religious, people will not like it. If you say I am spiritual, people will say that oh, I also want to understand spirituality. Where spirituality is beyond religion. The concepts are universal. They are not constrained to some religion. Spiritual means it is beyond religion. So okay, we'll end here. We'll do one round of chanting. Can you repeat after me? नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. Those are standing for first time. We hold the beads like this. Don't touch. We don't touch this finger, index finger. So we hold one bead and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then we go to next. There are 100 beads, 8 beads in this. It will take around approximately 8 to 10 minutes to chant. And when we chant, we do only two things. One is we speak from the mouth because it's called mantra meditation. We speak and we hear attentively. So we control the mind by sound. So wherever the mind goes, bring it back. So for next 10 minutes, just